Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today, I thought to challenge you a bit about your experience here in Mayapur Dham. I was reading in Navadvipa Mahatmya about the glories of Navadvipa. And here you are. But you might think that what Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in Navadvipa Mahatmya doesn't apply to you, because it sounds, the effects he describes sound miraculous. Now, when you first come to bhakti, many of you have had a miraculous feeling of emerging from the dense darkness of the material world. But then, as the years progress, sometimes it's said around the 7-year mark, you start wondering, what happened to the miracle? I still have material desires. I don't see Krishna. What's going on? At that point, unfortunate persons may drift away from the path of bhakti, seeking so-called immediate fulfillment in the material energy, which tortures you with insubstantial pleasure and a desire for that insubstantial, shadowy pleasure that's insatiable, never satisfied. But you're on the treadmill. You're going nowhere, but you can't get off. So, as the years go by in bhakti, what is in store for you? Often we think, I've been practicing bhakti for 7 years, 15 years, 20 years or more. Where's the miracle now? I still sometimes think I'm the body. I have memories of past karmic activity. What's going to be my future? I practiced bhakti for so long. We take this short human form of life to be so long, when actually it's just an eye blink. And we've spent countless lifetimes. We can't count the number of lifetimes we've spent slaving in the material energy in different bodies, in different places. So you have to see the complete perspective that what is this short human form of life? Why do we make it sound like it's, oh, I have so much time ahead of me. Can I fill all the years ahead of me with bhakti or not? Life on the earth planet is just an eye blink in the view of the devatas, the demigods. That's why you'll read in the 5th canto that the devatas, the demigods, pray, if we've got any more punya left in our account, any more good karma reactions left in our account, so to speak, let us take birth on earth, because their life is very short and you can go back to Godhead very quickly. Whereas in the heavenly planets, life is very long and the allurements are 1,000 times more than on earth. Can you imagine that? We get so attracted by the tinsel allurements of the earth planet. We can't conceive of how on the heavenly planets the material enjoyment is 1,000 times better. So the demigods, they're praying, if we have any more punya, good karma left after our stint in the heavenly planets is up, let's take birth on earth, please. Let us take birth on earth. Because their life is so short and the allurements aren't so intense as they are in the heavenly planets. You know, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes what may be very mysterious to you. Chine punye marcha lokam vishanti. You do some good karma on the earth planets, you go to the heavenly planets. But you can only stay there as long as your good karma allows. When it runs out, you fall back to the earth. So Krishna's describing it like it's a monotonous process, going up, down, up, down. And of course, these days, who's going up? It's these days, most people are headed for a descent into the animal species. The example given in Chaitanya Charitamrita is what they called in medieval times the dunking stool, a chair on the bank of the river. And a criminal would be put into that chair on the bank of the river and lowered into the river. And then just when the person was thinking, I'm finished, I'm drowned, they pull the chair out of the water. And relief. So grateful. And then back down into the water again, over and over again. Of course, this torturous process is done by many militaries today. They call it waterboarding, where they put you on a plank of wood, they lay you on a plank of wood, and with your head tilted downwards and your feet up in the air on the plank of wood. The plank of wood is slanted like that. So your head is like where my watch is and your feet are where my fingernails are. And then they put a wet rag over your nose and mouth and pour water on it. And it gives the exact feeling of drowning. Tell us what we want to know. Tell us what we want to know. And the person actually thinks he or she is drowning because you get that same sensation with the wet rag over your mouth and nose, water pouring on the wet rag. So you feel such relief when they stop, only just for them to start again. So this is the contemporary equivalent of what Lord Chaitanya describes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. In medieval times, it's called the dunking stool or the dunking chair. You're dunked, plunged under the water till you're about dead, and then pulled out, only to be plunged right back down into the water over and over again. You're terrified. So this is how Lord Chaitanya speaks of accumulating good karma to go to the heavenly planets, and then burning out your good karma, burning it up, and then you fall back to earth again. But who is going to the heavenly planets these days? Who knows how to go to the heavenly planets? But we're on the bhakti train. But after your miraculous coming to bhakti, where are you going? You may start worrying. I still think I'm the body. I still think I'm the mind. And then you read in Navadvipa Mahatma about Navadvipa. Here you are in Navadvipa. So let's hear from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He tells us, Lord Nityananda, raising his lotus hands in the air, exclaims, "Come, living entities, give up the troubles of karma and jnana. Since you are endeavoring for happiness, I will give you happiness without asking anything in exchange. In this happiness, there's no trouble, loss, or pain. Just chant the name of Gauranga and dance without anxiety." So what do you think? Is it that easy? Just chant the name Gauranga and dance without anxiety? It's all right while I'm dancing. Like you can watch Leela Madhurya dancing. You can see she's got no anxiety while she's dancing. While she's dancing.
Only at this moment.
Is it that easy? Just raise your hands in the air, call out the name of Gauranga and dance without anxiety? But Lord Nityananda says, I'll give you happiness without your asking anything in exchange. In this happiness, there's no trouble, loss, or pain. Just chant the name of Gauranga and dance without anxiety. You might say, well, it sounded good when we were new bhaktas, new to bhakti, but there's intricacies, there's complexities. Nityananda assures you, there's nothing equal to the happiness that he's giving. Nothing equals it. That happiness is pure eternal ecstasy beyond all illusion. What do you think? Have you felt that pure eternal ecstasy beyond all illusion? You may have felt, you would recognize a little glimpse here and there. But as you advance in knowledge of bhakti, you start to appreciate really what you've been given. Part of the problem is we don't recognize what we're given. Just like if Haridev was a 5-year-old boy and we put in his hand a diamond, he wouldn't know what to do with it. He'd probably think it's to play with it on the ground. He might try to eat it. Have you ever seen a diamond? Does your mother wear diamonds? Oh, really? Let's see. So, he doesn't know anything about diamonds, even now. So if you give him a diamond, he won't know what to do with it. He'll probably, who knows, go to some Mayapur food stall and try to trade the diamond for a veggie burger or something. So a lot of our problem is recognizing what we have in our hand. That takes knowledge. So, we'll go on reading. In this way, Nityananda Prabhu begged everyone to take pure ecstatic love. He's begging you, take pure ecstatic love. What's happening with us though? Well, we have other plans we have to achieve first. Or yes, when I was a new devotee, I was open to taking the gift of ecstatic love. But as I became an older devotee, I realized there are practicalities you have to deal with. And you just can't take that gift from Nityananda. You got to first solve your material situation. So in this way, Nityananda Prabhu begged everyone to take pure ecstatic love. Still, unfortunate persons influenced by previous sinful activities did not even want it. This is our problem, influenced by past sinful activities. We don't want the gift. But if such persons chant even once the names of Gauranga and Nitai, the effects of unlimited sinful activities are destroyed. All right, ready once? Gauranga! Nitai! The effects of unlimited sinful activities are destroyed. But what if we start again? This is the problem. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, listen everyone to one more confidential topic. The most suitable thing for the souls of Kali Yuga is this treasure of Gauranga Leela. Gaurahari is the combined form of Radha and Krishna, who eternally enjoy pastimes in Vrindavan along with the Sakhis. The truth of Radha and Krishna's eternal pastimes and the glories of Vrajadam are known by everyone through the scriptures, and the unlimited glories of Krishna's name and abode are known through the scriptures by people all over the universe. But still, actually obtaining Krishna Prem is not at all common. We can agree with that, right? Yeah, we read about it, but whoever gets it. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, let's contemplate the reason why that although the glories of Krishna's name and abode are known everywhere in the universe, still those who actually obtain Krishna Prem are not at all common. So he goes on to write, herein lies the secret of secrets, which the living entities bound by Maya cannot discern. They can't figure this out. One who does not attain Prem after worshipping Krishna birth after birth has certainly committed heaps of offenses. For only by chanting Krishna's name without offenses can one attain eternal Krishna Prem. So as we always point out at initiation time, this is our quest to chant Hare Krishna without offense. This is our career. The more you take that career as your life and soul, the more your chanting becomes empowered. When you take as your number one occupation in life to be a chanter of the Hare Krishna mantra, striving to chant without offenses. And that means you have to arrange your lifestyle accordingly. You can't just be in a materialistic atmosphere and then say, now I'm going to chant without offense. You'll be affected by your surroundings. You'll be affected by your associates. So what to do? Only by chanting Krishna's name without offenses can one attain eternal Krishna Prem. So how do we get out of this trap? Because it seems like you could say about yourself, you're going on and on year after year in bhakti. Where's the magic? Where's the miracle? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur continues. Sri Chaitanya's incarnation, however, is most uncommon. In other words, just as it is uncommon for someone to get Krishna Prem, it's also so uncommon that there is Lord Chaitanya. By his mercy, a serious person, though filled with offenses, can quickly obtain Prem. Where's our Prem? Quickly. What is one short lifetime of a few decades? Dedicated to chanting Hare Krishna, trying to please Krishna. Now listen to this. When someone calls out the names of Nitai and Chaitanya, Krishna Prem comes looking for him. You see? Krishna Prem is looking for you. Of course, Krishna praying may be looking for us, but we hide. Not today. I have my attachments. First let me indulge in my attachments, and then we can talk about Krishna praying coming to get me. Krishna praying, come looking for me. Well, okay, just stay, wait. So in other words, when you hear these kind of descriptions, you can't forget you have a role to play in terms of the use of your independence. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes the exception. The exception is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his mercy. Therefore, offenses do not hinder his progress, and he soon sheds tears of ecstasy out of pure praying. Soon sheds tears of ecstasy. Oh, I've been chanting Hare Krishna for 5 years. It's a long time. That's how we think. 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. It's a long time. Eternity is nothing. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, all the offenses quickly flee away. The heart becomes pure and praying fully blossoms. Because people in Kali Yuga commit unlimited offenses which are difficult to check, there can be no means of deliverance other than Gauranga's name. So we have the problem of offenses. Therefore we take shelter of Lord Chaitanya, Gauranga, and Nitai. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur concludes, in Kali Yuga, therefore, I see no alternative than Sri Gauranga. This is what all the scriptures proclaim. Now, what about Navadvipa? Any questions at this point? You've heard all these tremendous statements. As soon as you chant Gauranga and Nitai, Krishna praying comes looking for you. So you're looking over your shoulder now. Okay, well, come on. But when we say come on, but then we have problems that we put in the path. It's like you're telling someone, come on, come look for me, and then we hide. Or come look for me, and then we put a roadblock up on the pathway. Come on, find me. Yes.
What are specific methods how we are hiding?
Material attachments. That means attachment to what is not Krishna's desire. We like to rationalize that.
Can you give example, please?
Everyone has a different lifestyle, different events, different possibilities in life. We want to live for Krishna's pleasure. Anything else? Yes.
What's the most practical way to avoid offenses?
Pay attention to your chanting. That's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says. By focusing on attentive chanting, you avoid all the offenses because you're paying attention to Krishna. You're giving Krishna quality time. I've said the example so many times. Let's say Bhakti Lata Devi is trying to explain something to her husband, Brahmakund. And while she's talking, he's just doing other things and or not really listening attentively, just yeah, like men can do. How do you think Bhakti Lata Devi feels? You're not listening. You don't care. Of course, in their case, I know it never happens. But isn't that the first thing you would say to someone? You just don't care. So Krishna is a person, and when we're neglectful, And inattentive in our chanting, we're showing we don't care. We'd rather think of something else. Anything else? Yes.
We see, if something like doing outreach, somebody might start chanting for 1 year, and then they'll say, it didn't do anything for me. Or a devotee been chanting for 20 years, and they say after 20 years, the chanting did nothing for me. It didn't give me anything. So how do we understand that? It has to give them something. And then
First of all, just that they tried chanting for 1 year or 20 years is their greatest fortune. Everything else in their life will be a complete failure, because at the time of death it's all left behind. But the effects of trying to chant, they'll take with them into their next life. Krishna in the heart has noticed you chanted. So you'll see it happening. But they're never the same. You have to see the big picture, lifetime after lifetime. They're marked persons. They'll never be the same. They tried to chant Hare Krishna. So on Lord Nityananda's appearance day, I'm supposed to give class. I'll just talk about this. How Lord Chaitanya told Advaita Acharya, whose appearance day is Tuesday, just give it out. Give this Krishna consciousness out to the lowest of persons, even to the chandalas, the dog eaters. And then he tells Nityananda, just give it out without distinction, without discrimination. So we'll talk about how this is a difficult instruction sometimes, because we want so-called quality persons. We don't want derelicts or down and outers. We want intelligent people who can help spread this Krishna consciousness. But somehow that we can't neglect that this is the instruction of Lord Chaitanya to Advaita Acharya and Nityananda. Just give it all out without discrimination. Just give it to the lowest of persons. You ever met a dog eater before? Where did you meet?
Ramdas and I were preaching to a South Korean gentleman in Christchurch. He admitted that he didn't dog.
Yes, it happens in Korea. So this is something we have to figure out how to do. We want people with material intelligence and skills to aid in the spreading of Lord Chaitanya's mission, while at the same time, Lord Chaitanya says, just give it out without discrimination to the lowest of persons. It's bewildering, isn't it? How to do this? He doesn't say, fill your temples with the lowest of persons. But just give everyone an opportunity, somehow or other. Let them hear the chanting, let them take prasad. So then, we continue. Are there any other points, questions? Yes?
Sometimes practicing after some period of time, the previous desire comes in.
Yes.
The anartha comes in. Why it is so?
When that happens, you think, I must take more shelter of chanting. Take that as impetus, a push. Just like someone's pushing you. They shove you. So you can shove back in bhakti. How do you shove back? All right, Maya, you're pushing me. I'm going to chant Hare Krishna. I'll push back at you. So take it as a call for more chanting. Don't get all, still I'm feeling these desires, what to do. Oh. Take the situation as an impetus for increasing the quality of your chanting. You have to have a bit of a sporting attitude. You're going to push me, I'll push you. Because the material energy likes to turn you into a punching bag. You know what a punching bag is? You just get beaten and beaten and beaten by the allurements of Maya. And you're supposed to think you have no way to fight back. You're just a punching bag. Just punched, 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 punched. Remember this? Remember you did that? Punch, punch, punch. Don't you want to do that again? Punch, punch, punch. But you do have ability to punch back, to defend yourself. Chant Hare Krishna. So this is especially the time of the year to remember this. Advaitacharya's appearance day is coming. Nityananda's appearance day is coming. Gauranga Mahaprabhu's appearance day is coming. So you have to know what medicines you have in your medicine cabinet. As Sri Gauranga appeared in Navadvipa, it is therefore the crest jewel of all holy places. So here you are in Navadvipa Dham. How much are you really here, though? That depends on your spiritual vision. At other holy places, offenders are the object of punishment. But in Navadvipa Dham, they are purified. The example? The two brothers, Jagai and Madai, who committed great offenses, yet still obtained Nitai and Gaur. What to speak of other places? At Vrindavan Dham, the offenders are punished. But a person who has committed hundreds of offenses can easily receive the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu and overcome those offenses in Navadvipa Dham. So we're supposed to overcome the offenses. We're not supposed to just go on committing them. For this reason, sages endlessly praise Navadvipa of Gaura Mandala. He who lives in Navadvipa Dham is very fortunate, for he achieves attraction for Krishna. Again, are we really living in Navadvipa, or are we living in our mental world? He who happens to go to Navadvipa becomes freed from all offenses. Are we really going to Navadvipa Dham? Are we really at Mayapur? Or we're in our own little bubble? What one attains by traveling to all the holy places is attained just by remembering Navadvipa. Just by remembering Navadvipa. You attain what you get by traveling to all the other holy places. He who sees Navadvipa Dham gets ecstatic love for Krishna birth after birth. Thinking, okay, where's the ecstatic love? This life is very short. Give this one life for Krishna. Even one who goes to Navadvipa desiring to gain material comforts through karma yoga will not take another birth. Yes, if you open yourself up to the mercy of Navadvipa Dham, even you come here with material motives, you'll become purified if you allow the transformation to happen. You have to do your part, though. The rain cloud is pouring down the rain of mercy. But if you got an umbrella up, you're not going to get wet by the rain of mercy. So you have to do your part to position yourself properly, to be eager, to be hungry, to be greedy for Krishna's mercy. In this way, the scriptures sing, he who sees Navadvipa Dham gets ecstatic love for Krishna birth after birth. Even one who goes to Navadvipa desiring to gain material comforts through karma yoga will not take another birth. The Shastras say that one who walks around Navadvipa attains the fruit of millions of Ashvamedha yajnas at every step. So I wonder, are you thinking that when you take a step walking around in the Dham? Just by one step, I'm attaining the fruit of millions of Ashvamedha yajnas. If you know anything about Ashvamedha yajnas from the Bhagavatam, you know they're far beyond the means of resources available today. So when you take a step, think. For one who lives in Navadvipa and chants mantras, the mantra becomes Chaitanya, and he easily gets free from Maya. What yogis obtain after 10 years at other tirthas is obtained in 3 nights in Navadvipa. How many of you have been here for at least 3 nights? So you already have attained, after 3 days, 3 nights, you've obtained what other tirthas will give in 10 years. But then you say, but I still have problems. I have desires, material desires. Just devote this one life to Krishna's service, this short life. The liberation attained by Brahman realization at other holy places is obtained simply by bathing in the Ganges at Navadvipa. Impersonalists hate these kind of statements. Remember Gopal Chakravarti in Chaitanya Charitamrita? He heard at a house program at the home of Raghunath Das Goswami's father and uncle. He heard, Gopal Chakravarti heard Haridas Thakur glorifying the holy name, because the question came up in the discussion at this Nam Hut program. What's the real benefit of chanting Hare Krishna? So some were saying it cleanses all your sinful activities and reactions. Others are saying it gives liberation. Back and forth it went until Haridas Thakur spoke the conclusive truth. The real effect of chanting Hare Krishna is not cleansing sinful activities and their results. It's not liberation. Those are all secondary effects of chanting Hare Krishna. The real effect is love of Krishna. So otherwise, he said, you can get liberation so easily by a dim reflection of pure chanting. And remember what happened. Gopal Chakravarti lost it at that point. Wow! Great sages and sadhus have spent countless lifetimes trying to achieve liberation, performing so many severe austerities. And you are telling me that just by chanting Hare Krishna, not even purely, not even the Shuddha Nam, but just a dim reflection, you get liberation? What a foolish statement. If this is not true, may your nose fall off. Ooh. And Haridas Thakur replied, you don't have, it's not that my nose has to fall off. If it's not true what I said, I'll cut off my nose. Of course, the whole assembly was outraged. How could this Gopal Chakravarti say such a thing to Haridas Thakur? So, Mayavadi impersonalists cannot tolerate these kind of statements. The Brahman realization liberation, realized at other holy places, is obtained simply by bathing in the Ganga at Navadvipa. How many of you have bathed in the Ganga? So you've already attained Brahman realization. You don't know it though. So. Furthermore, all types of liberation, Salokya, Sarupya, Sarsti, Samipya, and Nirvana, can be obtained in Navadvipa without practice of Gyan. Who knows the 5 types of liberation? Who can recite? Someone.
Sarupyas, Samipyas,
You have to say what each one means.
having the same form as the Lord,
Yes.
being on the same planet as the Lord,
Mm.
the same opulences as the Lord,
Mm.
being near to the Lord, and merging into the
Mm.
sea.
All these types of liberation you can obtain in Navadvipa without practicing Jnana Yoga. Falling at the feet of the pure devotees in Navadvipa, Bhukti and Mukti, the personified material enjoyment and personified liberation, Bhukti and Mukti, remain in Navadvipa as obedient servants of the Vaishnavas. The Vaishnavas, not caring for the blessings of Bhukti and Mukti, kick away Bhukti and Mukti. But still, Bhukti and Mukti cling to the devotee's lotus feet. The fruits obtained by staying 100 years at the 7 holy cities can be attained by staying 1 night in Navadvipa Dham. You want to know what the 7 holy cities are? Ayodhya, Mathura, Maya, or Haridwar, Kashi, Kanchi, Avanti, or Ujjain, and Dwarka. So stay in those other places 100 years. You can attain the results just by 1 night in Navadvipa Dham. So any questions? It's always good to hear about the glories of the Dham. Otherwise when you first came here the first day, and we can ask Jiva Shakti, first day you're overwhelmed, and then you start getting used to it, right? What was it like as you drove up the road nearing Mayapur Dham?
Not what I expected.
What did you expect? A little temple or something?
No, I expected, it's, materially not as opulent as I thought it would be.
Hmm. Were you chanting in the car as the car approached?
Trying to, yes.
Did you notice suddenly your chanting becomes sweeter as you neared Mayapur Dham?
Didn't notice it.
All of a sudden you become more spiritually alert. Anything else? Yes.
When we go to any dham, Vrindavan, Mayapur, so how should we prepare ourselves? Like we should hear more and more about dham before entering the dham.
That's a way to make your visit more productive. Something His Holiness Shivaram Raj calls Dhamology, like geology, astrology, Dhamology. You have to know the science of the Dham. How the Mayapur and Vrindavan are 2 manifestations of the one reality. In Vrindavan, there's Radha and Krishna. In Mayapur, Radha and Krishna combine as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the more you understand that, the more you can benefit. Otherwise, after a while, you'll think, "Oh, I've driven up from Calcutta several times. What's the big deal?" But the more you're aware of the atmosphere you're entering into and what the benefits are, the more grateful you'll be. And how can there be spiritual advancement in bhakti without gratitude? So if you've read Prabhupada's books sufficiently, you can read Navadvipa Dham Mahatmya, acclimate yourself. understand the science of the Dham. They didn't teach you this at IIT. Yes.
Gurudev, to try to remove that block that we're putting in to Krishna praying that's coming to us. How do we do it? Is it simply by taking more shelter of the holy name?
The whole process of bhakti. We beg Krishna for more intensity in our bhakti. And we think of ways how we can make our service better. In whatever situation we're in. A wife with Haridev as child. What to do? You're praying to Krishna. What do I do? How can I improve? Wouldn't you be attracted to someone who's always thinking, how to please Sukhanti Radha? What would she like? Her best. That's every wife's dream of the ideal husband. Last week, how did I do last week? Can I do anything better this week? What would you think if that happened?
I'd be very happy.
Got that, Taco Saranga? So how do you think Krishna's also a person? What can I do better for you? Yes.
Earlier you said that our sinful activities repels our receptivity to receiving the gift of.
If we continue with our sinful activities.
So my question is, that seems to say that material circumstances can be a prerequisite to receiving bhakti?
No. We already explained that by taking up the process of chanting, by coming to the holy Dham, sinful reactions are dispelled. But if you keep making more, then that's enough. Then what can be done? One of the offenses to the holy name is to commit sinful activity on the strength of chanting Hare Krishna. Let me do this, it's wrong, but I'm chanting. Yes?
So it seems some people who are more heavily engrossed in simple life are less able to take the holy name.
No, we look at the example given, the classic example, Jagai and Madai. Rupa and Sanatan presented themselves to Lord Chaitanya. You're Patita Pavana, the deliverer of the most fallen. You won't find anyone worse than us. If you deliver us, your reputation will be intact. We can assure you, you're not going to find anyone worse than us. So we have the first right to be delivered by you. Yes.
There's no impediment to engage in devotional service, but is there maybe material impediments to chant offenses, to be able to chant with attention?
To be able to chant what?
With attention. Can there be material impediments?
There can be material impediments, but still if you have a pure desire to chant purely, those material circumstances will not interfere with your pure desire, if your desire is pure. We're always pursuing pure chanting. This is what separates those devotees who are going to become weak and fall away from those who are continuing to push forward. Pure chanting is perceived by Krishna. So someone may be in a medical situation, but Krishna's in their heart. He knows what their intent is. So you may be very sick. Maybe you can't vibrate the holy name as fully as you like. Krishna is not cruel. He knows your capacity. He knows the situation. So there's no material limit to how Krishna can respond to your chanting. The circumstances may look limiting, but Krishna's response is not limited by those limited circumstances. You understand? Yes.
Prabhat, I was wondering how to not become familiar living comfortably in the Dham, and how to develop the missionary spirit that pure devotees have, and to give that mercy rather than being kind of spiritually selfish and have a comfortable.
Well, your family is a good example of that. You're assisting with the desire of the acharyas to build the TOVP. You have a family, that means a different style than the sannyasis and brahmacharis. Of course, several times a year your wife takes sannyas and goes to UK to preach. You go by yourself or you take Harida Dev with you?
Once a year I take him, once a year I go on my own.
Which do you like better, going or staying?
I'll stay.
We'll stay with Papa. Huh? Let Mata go.
I bring him gifts.
You like the gifts, huh?
And
Huh?
and my mother, because she came back.
Oh, you're glad she came back. That's the best gift, that she came back. Music to a mother's ears. Makes all the hard work worthwhile to hear such statements. Yes.
You're saying how our problem is we don't realize our good fortune. So over time, so how can we understand our good fortune and to remember that over time we're practicing that?
Over time, what?
Oh, practicing that for you.
Constant hearing about the glories of Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes, and his abodes. Keep yourself informed. But as I often explain, usually what happens for those who don't live in ashrams is they get caught up in earning a living, paying for a mortgage, car payments, going to work, this, that, the other. And soon they're hearing about Krishna, talking about Krishna, chanting about Krishna, goes to the back of their life. And then you tell yourself, well, one day I'll be finished all these material responsibilities, then I will really get into it. I'll really get into bhakti. But you can become so entangled, you don't see a way out. In the classic Vedic system, which we don't have today, 50 years old and time for changes. That's assuming in the classic Vedic system that the lady married before she's 16 and the man's around 21, And she's, by the time the lady's 32, her child is 16 years old. By the time she's 40, the child's got married. And so by the time you're 50, you've done all your family obligations. That's the orderly progression of the ashram system. But just like when Prabhupada's sister was 12 years old and she wasn't married, his mother threatened the father, "I'm going to commit suicide. She's 12 years old, she's not married." But these days people think, married at 12, how barbaric. But go to parties and be with this one, that one, shop around, oh, very enlightened. So it's quite a different world, obviously, from Vedic times. So it's hard for us to understand. This is around the year 1900. Prabhupada's mother was threatening the father. "She's 12 years old, she's not married." Nowadays they'd say, "She's 12 years old, time to experiment." Or like they do in Australia and New Zealand, the parents just tell the girl, "Just get a boyfriend, bring him home with you. Stay at home with you." Very degraded times. Who is it? Siddha Mantra was telling me in just the state of West Bengal, or is it all over India, they changed the law about hotels?
This Muslim West Bengal is talking about.
West Bengal.
Yeah, Calcutta.
Calcutta. The city of Calcutta
Yeah.
changed the law to allow what?
It's changing a lot in terms of like how the students are behaving right now.
But you told me that
They go to hotels. Yeah, the hotel. Unmarried couples are allowed in the hotel.
unmarried couples are now
Allowed to stay in the hotel.
and
Before 18.
huh?
Before 18.
If they just say they're married, even if they're under 18.
Yeah.
So how do they? Of course, anything is possible. Just give some rupees, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Give some money.
Yeah. So they could be 16 years old. They just say we're a married couple,
Yeah.
and here's 500 rupees.
Yeah, that's it. Money.
Right. Anything else? Yes.
What is the utility of the covering of the Dham for the aspiring devotee? Some devotees get so blinded by the covering that they can't wait to go elsewhere, or
This is described by Bhaktivinoda Thakur that there's like a film covering over the Dham, like cellophane wrapper, so to speak. So someone can look like they're here, but they actually haven't entered into the real Dham due to their mentality. Everything depends on your Krishna consciousness. Nothing more? Yes?
You were talking about the material entanglement that we can get, but living in Mayapur and the communities, like most devotees who live in different communities, how are we not supposed to get so involved with all the community problems and still avoid apparat, like devotee apparat?
You have to be very careful about devotee dealings, devotee relationships. Very careful.
So what's the balance between like avoiding certain things in the community and still trying to get sadhusanga from devotees from the community?
You have to develop your ability to discriminate. Know whom to associate with for what purpose. You have to know what your goal is, what you want, and then sort out your associates according to your goals. You want to be Krishna conscious, you associate with those who are Krishna conscious. You want to not be so serious, you associate with those who aren't so serious. Is that what you meant? It's up to you. You respect everyone, but those whom you allow to influence you, make sure they align with your goals. Yes.
How can we be more open to receive the mercy while we're in the Dhamma?
Beg. So you're here for how many more days?
Essential Thursday.
So you can beg Advaita Acharya on Tuesday, his appearance day. You'll be in Vrindavan for Nityananda's appearance day? Huh? Hmm. So don't be too proud to beg. You've ever begged for anything in your life? I don't know. Most people haven't really begged for anything. So think about it. Have you ever begged for anything in your life? We're very afraid of begging. It's a sign of weakness. Acknowledging that you're weak. Yes. What have you begged for, Bhakti Lata?
At the beginning when we start Bhakti, we try to see everything in connection with Krishna.
In the beginning, and then we stop?
No, but then the higher levels, like Lord Chaitanya's mood of separation, go to the gopis or like Lord Chaitanya is the mood of separation.
Yes.
So it seems like, I mean, how, so what is the transition towards that? What does it look like?
What does?
What does it look like? So from seeing Krishna everywhere to feeling separation of Krishna, feeling like we don't have Krishna.
In the beginning, you're not seeing Krishna everywhere. That's why Krishna gives you a program. Rasaham of Sukonteya. I'm the taste of water. Prabhashmi Shasti Surya. I'm the light of the sun and the moon. First see Krishna in that way. And then gradually you'll start to think how all the energy is coming from the energetic source. So when you see the energy, you think of the source of the energy. You think of Krishna. So So as you start to see everything connected to Krishna, you naturally become more attached to Krishna, and then you'll feel separation. The example I always like to give from Srila Prabhupada is the sun is shining, and then suddenly it goes behind the clouds. What do you feel when it goes behind the clouds? No, but that's not the correct answer. You don't actually feel cold. You feel separation from the sun. So as you start to see everything in relation to Krishna, you'll start to feel separation from Krishna. Yes.
Is there any of the prayers of the previous acharyas that could help us beg for mercy?
All of them.
Any, like,
You can take the prayers of Narottam Das Thakur. Gauranga bolite habe pulakashirya. Hari Hari bolite naine bhavenye. When will I shout the name Gauranga with tears pouring from my eyes and hair standing on end? Hare Krishna. Yes.
Sometimes the pure desire to serve Krishna comes, but at the same time, material desire comes in also. So does that mean that Krishna will fulfill that pure desire which comes for a very short period of time?
Think of yourself as a medical patient gradually getting over a disease. Krishna may fulfill your material desire so that you never ask for it again. He'll do it in a way that you'll never ask for it again. He explains that in the 5th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. My devotee wants something material. I know it's not good for him. Like an expert physician, I may give it to him, what he thinks he wants. I may give it to him in such a way that he'll never ask for it again. Krishna is known as Bhavagrahi. He takes the best of your motivation and reciprocates with that. Krishna's not in the business of torturing us. He takes the best of what you have and reciprocates with that.
So he will not fulfill the spiritual desire. He will not fulfill the material desire, but if the spiritual desire is pure,
you can pray to Krishna. Don't pay attention to my material desire. I'm like a foolish little child who doesn't know what to ask for. Whatever you do, don't pay attention. Don't fulfill my material desires. Try that. The biggest problem is wanting some kind of fame or distinction for whatever spiritual advancement you think you've made. That's the biggest problem. I should be respected. People should notice my spiritual development. When you think like that, it's like what Raghunath Das Goswami writes in his book, Manasiksha. It's like suddenly a donkey has urinated on your face. I want to be famous. I want respect for my spiritual advancement. So you can just feel that on your face. I've been a devotee for 10 years. Where's my respect? Yes.
I'm wondering how can we be more disciplined?
Have a schedule. Do you have a schedule?
Usually yes.
Then you're being disciplined. A yogi, as explained in Bhagavad Gita, a yogi is someone who uses the senses according to a prearranged plan. So have a prearranged plan for how to use all your senses.
I guess I'm wondering, like in the ashram, it seems easier to have that. I'm wondering if I would do that on my own more.
Yeah, that's true. That's why we have ashrams. Make it easier. It's true. But most ladies just don't stay in ashrams all their life. They want their own palace. Palaces cost money. And they want some little princes and princesses running around in the palace. On and on it goes. So my advice is that if you're in the ashram situation, make the best of it. Make it the best years. Okay? Yes.
I'm not sure how to correctly ask this question and not to appear arrogant, but if I feel that I beg Krishna, but I do not feel reciprocation from him, does it mean that I'm not sincere enough?
Maybe you don't notice what you're getting. And also, some greed may be developing, that the more you get, the more you think you need to get. So remember, just call out the name of Gauranga and dance without anxiety. Can you remember that much?
My memory is enough.
Huh?
My memory is good enough for that. So far.
Okay. Nothing more? Yes.
And in Nectar Instruction, Rupa Goswami explains what is good to develop bhakti and what to be avoided, and seems Jalpa mentioned twice to avoid the prajalpa and not to associate with non-devotees closely. And you mentioned about the difficulties in Kali Yuga, that to check offenses in Kali Yuga is difficult. So sometimes
What did I say?
it's difficult to check offenses in Kali Yuga, quoted Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Without Gauranga Nitai's mercy.
Correct. And so sometimes you're not planning to get involved in japa. Like say I went to the roof just to pick up the laundry, and then the devotee says, "Oh, you heard? Trump did say this and that." And I don't want to. I'm in a Dhama. I don't want to get in, you know. But at the same time, I don't want to.
Just say Hare Krishna and keep moving.
So my question was how not to be rude to devotees, but at the same
Just Hare Krishna, keep moving. Jai Gauranga. You don't have to feel the pressure of having to socialize on a level that you don't want to. Gramya Katha is called. Village talk. Politicians come and go. If they happen to do some good for Lord Chaitanya's mission, we applaud them. Then they go and someone else comes along. Any questions from the back? So I hope in this brief discussion about the Dham that you have a renewed vision of what the Mayapur Dham is offering you. All right. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.